It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio today. We've got a couple of guests. We're going to be talking about influenza, the flu season, which is, of course, upon us. We have Public Health Nurse and Disease Prevention Supervisor Cherry Varay. Welcome back to studio, Cherry.
Thank you, Paul.
And then Cottonwood Immunization Coordinator Sally Slater. Welcome to studio for your first time.
Thank you.
Very good. Phone number for you, 639-8132 is the phone number for the Verde Valley to make appointments. Is that right, Sally?
Yes.
Okay, 639-8132. And then YavaPaiHealth.com. You can go there for more information about flu shots. But it's that time of the year. Coconino County Health Department a couple weeks ago said they've had some confirmed cases of flu up in the Coconino County area. Have we had any in Yavapai County yet, Cherry?
We are starting to see some.
Okay.
We're pocketed in between two areas that are already having cases.
Oh, really? Where's this at?
Maricopa and Coconino.
Oh, okay. Okay, so in the state. What about Yavapai County? Do we have any Yavapai County?
Not confirmed as of this time.
Okay, but it's just around the corner, right?
It's right next door to us.
Right. I mean, it's bound to happen eventually because people, of course, traveling back and forth. Someone's bound to bring it back up here, and off we go. So no influenza cases in Yavapai County yet that we know of. Do we know, how was the flu season? Let's go back to last winter.
Yes.
How was last year's flu season?
Last year's flu season was a little brutal. Unfortunately, what it did was it took a shift.
Okay.
There was a lot of concern over the flu vaccine. It wasn't necessarily the flu vaccine itself, it was the flu that had shifted, and so we saw a lot more cases.
That's right. I remember that now because the flu vaccine that came out was made specifically for the type of flu we were expecting.
Yes.
But this bugger has a way of just kind of changing itself, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah. So it went from what to what last year, remember?
What's in it was the H3N2.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost not as bad, but like the H1N1.
Right.
So it's one of your A strains.
Okay.
So that's what was more predominant last year.
And the A strains are the bad strains.
Yes,
the
they
really
are.
bad
The
and
really
real aggressive
bad.
strains. Is that a good way to describe that?
Yes.
Okay. What's not quite such a severe influenza?
Your B strains.
Okay.
They're generally localized.
Okay.
They're named after the areas that they come from. And there's multiple ones, and those are the ones that they're always looking at what is more dominant.
How do we know where the flu is coming from?
They're looking in the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
While they're having winter, they're looking to see what's circulating in that area at that time and what's most dominant and fine-tuning what's going to be in the flu vaccine.
So what are we in store for this year? Because, well, let me ask you this first. Flu season starts when and ends when?
About September, October, and in through March. And since we are in the Southwest, we always have a tendency to have a late flu season.
Okay.
So as far as April to June.
Why do we have a later flu season?
It will start on the East Coast and move this way.
Okay.
But as we become travel more globalized, we close that gap.
That's pretty amazing. So you're saying we watched the Southern Hemisphere during the flu season, during their flu season.
During their flu season.
So they've had their winter, their flu season. So we've been kind of watching them and kind of seeing what kind of flu they've had. So I guess what I'm thinking is when they're going to be looking at the Northern Hemisphere during our winter season, correct?
Yes, they are.
To decide what flu vaccine they need for their next winter. So that means the flu, it can change really fast, is what I'm seeing, or what I think I'm seeing.
It can change very rapidly.
Okay.
And again, those smaller B strains are based on localized areas. So if one of those pops up and then starts to dominate, they'll focus on that.
Okay. So we get people coming in with the flu, and we're checking them all with different kinds of flu they have, and then if a large group has this kind of flu, we're pretty sure that that's the one that's going to be coming across the oceans and getting to...
That's the one that's more likely.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. So what kind of flu we got this year? What kind of surprises are we in store for?
Well, we're hoping for this year the vaccine covers both the A and B strains. The H3N2 that we saw circulating last year has been put into the flu vaccine this year, so that A strain is going to be more dominant.
Okay. So the same vaccine as last time?
It's pretty much the same as it was last year with the addition of the H3N2.
Okay. So any idea why we don't have just one common flu vaccine that would cover A and B? If we've got one this year that's supposed to cover the A strain and the B strain, why not just have that same flu vaccine every year?
Well, the B parts change, and those are the ones they are still working on developing an all-encompassing flu vaccine. That's where you're looking at the different forms. I often get asked, well, what's the difference between a trivalent and a quadrivalent?
Yeah, explain that one to me.
The trivalent covers your 2 A strains and 1 B strain. Your quadrivalent covers 2 A strains and 2 B strains. So you're getting an additional portion of coverage. So you would want the quadrivalent versus the trivalent for the most coverage.
Okay.
Right now they're in the process of phasing out the trivalents.
And I guess as we found out last year, there's really no guarantee that the flu shot that we get this year is going to be effective towards this year's flu.
No, and again, it could shift. But having the flu shot is better than not having one, because it will still provide you with protection. It will lessen the effects if you do get the flu.
I think we talked about that last year too. I think that was a point we made, that although the flu shot wasn't really covering the flu that was around, it's still better than no protection at all.
Absolutely.
You agree with that, Sally?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. How do we make the flu shot? That's got to be quite a process. I know it's interesting, and we've talked about it. I've talked about it before. It seems pretty interesting to me.
It's incubated in the eggs. It's done through the manufacturer. It takes a long time to grow.
Okay.
Or incubate, and then develop, and make sure it's stable.
It's amazing that our flu shots come from eggs. So do you know how long it takes to? I'm trying to figure out how the process even works. I mean, do they inject the type of flu we think we're going to have into the egg?
Yes.
Okay, and then it sits in the egg for, do we know how long?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you now.
Okay, but the manufacturers, they incubate it in an egg.
Yes, they do.
Of all places. I think that's amazing that we know that we can do that. And then they draw it back out? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we put it in us, and we're protected by the flu.
Yes, we are.
Okay, something I want to hit on this year, because I hit on it every year, is when I get the flu shot, am I supposed to get the flu? What's going to happen when I get the flu shot? Because I told you I had the flu shot, and then I felt like I had the flu for a couple days later. So what's going on with my body at that point in time?
It's your body building up an army. So it's preparing your body when it actually meets the flu. Anytime you get a vaccine or a flu shot, you're going to have a sore arm. You're going to feel some mild side effects, which are completely normal, but that's just all in preparation for your body to actually confront the flu.
Okay, if I get hit by it, boom.
Yes.
I'm ready to go. All right,
it's ready to defend you.
Okay, all right, so that's all it was doing for me, huh?
Yes.
It was just getting ready, okay. Well, it freaked me out. All right, let's take our first break. The number is 639-8132. That's for the Verde Valley for setting up flu shot appointments. And then there's YavaPaiHealth.com for more information about influenza as well. Public Health Nurse and Disease Prevention Supervisor, Cherry Beret in studio. Cottonwood Immunization Coordinator, Sally Slater. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. Back in just a couple minutes.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking influenza today. 639-8132 in the Verde Valley, 639-8132 to set up a flu shot appointment. Sally, maybe before we get into the next row of questions, we do have some free flu shot clinics going on in Yavapai County. There was 10 in all, and I've been kind of announcing them as they come up, but there are some.
Right. We're doing rural flu clinics through the rest of this month and the beginning of November, and those are provided by the county health department and the county supervisors. Absolutely free to anybody that shows up there. You just fill out some demographic information and get your flu shot. No insurance is needed. Totally free.
Just get yourself protected. There's 10 of those clinics, and I think there's, I don't know, 5 or 6 left. Yep. And we'll keep talking about those. But I think we've got one in Skull Valley this week.
Yep, Skull Valley is tomorrow, Ash Fork Friday, Oak Creek School in Cornville on Saturday. And then there's a few more after that, and we'll announce those as they come up. I think there's one towards the end of October. I guess we're getting towards the end of October already. I think there's one in November, one in December, so we'll catch up with those. But 639-8132, they could probably find out more information about those. Absolutely.
If they call that. Okay, absolutely. Does it hurt? Does it take too long to get a shot, a flu shot?
No, it takes maybe 30 seconds, and it really doesn't hurt that bad.
You got the touch, huh? Just poof, like it never even happened.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, good deal. All right, so some people probably think, it's the flu. I get the flu every year, big deal. I'm down for a couple of days, feeling miserable. Why do I care? Why do we care, Cherry?
Oh, we should care. It's something we don't want to transmit to other people. We want to protect ourselves and we want to protect others.
And it can be dangerous.
Yes, it can be. Especially if you have an immune compromised system, you have secondary diagnoses. It's a respiratory infection, so it's going to affect your breathing.
So what am I looking for if I get the flu this year? How's the onset coming? What's it going to be like?
Chills, fever, malaise, fatigue.
Malaise?
Just tiredness.
Okay. All right.
Sore muscles.
Okay. Aches and pains.
Aches and pains.
It seems like there's been something going around right now already. I got it. My wife had it. That almost feels like the flu, but there's no fever. It lasted for about 24 hours. Maybe you guys know what this is. It would come on. They're looking at each other right now going, I don't know. But it came on really quick, and I've actually had a few other people that have said this. It came on really quick one day where I had aches and pains in my wrists, my elbows, my legs especially, and my lower back just hurt like crazy. Slept the whole day. I mean, I literally slept almost an entire weekend where it was like I'd fall asleep, wake up 30 minutes later and go, it's only been 30 minutes. When will this end? And I just kept doing that, but I never had a fever. Anything like that?
Actually, that's interesting. My son felt like that on Sunday. His whole body was super, super achy. But
Brad Miller's, both of his kids have gone through it. Brad had it. My wife had it. And it's just no fever.
Nope.
Yeah, just aches and pains and just generally just felt like I don't want to stand. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. It even hurt to just watch TV. It seemed like it was just, I just want to go to sleep and forget about this right now. So we don't know really what's going on there.
Well, we're also at the end of summer, which is intravirus or cold season. And when kids are going back to school, we're seeing a lot more intravirus. Okay. So when you don't have the fever factored into there, we actually have a sheet that we hand out at the events that differentiates the cold from the flu.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay, we talked a little bit about who is more at risk for the influenza, for the flu, and should probably take this very seriously. So what kind of folks are we talking about?
Everybody's at risk for the flu.
Okay.
But more especially our younger children, those under 5 with respiratory conditions, and the elderly.
Okay. Pregnant women, that's usually, is that usually listed in there as well?
That is as well.
Okay. And why is that? Why are these folks more at risk to have, I guess I want to say, a deadly contraction of the flu? Because people die from the flu. You said more people during the break, more people die of the flu each year than from most other diseases.
More people are affected by the flu, and a lot of deaths are attributed to the flu because what the flu brings on is pneumonia.
Okay.
And so they die from the complications of the flu.
Okay, that's where in the story I'm talking about anybody with underlying health conditions, you should most definitely go and get a flu shot. Is that what we're talking about here? Okay.
And that's where we also encourage to ask about the pneumonia vaccine. So when you're getting your flu vaccine, ask about the pneumonia vaccine.
There's a pneumonia vaccine as well?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
There's actually 2.
Oh, okay. 2 different kinds of pneumonia vaccines.
There's the pneumonia 23, which is quite frequently given out. There's one that's been up in the commercials in the last year, the Prevnar 13, or PCV 13.
Okay.
And there's a lot of misconception that it's a new vaccine. It's just that the FDA and the ACIP guidelines have changed the age ranges for those. And so now there's more age ranges that are open to having the Prevnar 13.
Okay. All right. So pneumonia shot, flu shot, probably a good combo to get this time of year because just the time of year. Okay. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the folks most at risk. I mean, like we said, all of us can get the flu, but there are some folks that definitely don't want to get the flu because it could be deadly, basically. H1N1, when that guy was around, that was one heck of a winter that year. I remember Robert Resendez, the former director, was in here. We talked extensively about the H1N1. Swine flu, I think is what we were calling it,
yes.
Swine flu. And at that point in time, it was hand sanitizers, man. Boom, they were going off the shelf like crazy. Everybody was using those, and you still see them all over the place. And then I noticed public restrooms. The sign came up that wash your hands, and it seems silly, but specific directions on how to wash your hands properly and dry them and everything else. So you still see those in the restrooms today. So these are things we can do to keep us from getting the flu, and right?
You should always, soap and water is your best.
Okay.
You'll see hand sanitizers, but it's not a substitute for soap and water.
Okay.
Always wash your hands, encourage your children to wash their hands, and cough or sneeze into your sleeve.
I would be curious to go back and see how many kids, because I know that was a big thing in schools. They were teaching the kids is to cough into your elbow like this. That was the key during the H1N1 thing. So I'd be curious to see how many kids are still doing. I'm going to keep my eyes open this winter when I'm in the stores and the mall and stuff like that, just to see if kids are coughing, if they're actually doing that, because I know the schools were teaching that heavily at the time. So, okay, so if I'm sick and I've got the flu, should I go to work?
No.
No, I should stay home and just get past it so I'm not giving it to anybody else. Wash your hands all the time, and then cough into your sleeve.
And stay away from people who have symptoms.
Right. Stay away from them. That's right. 639-8132, a good phone number to get a flu shot appointment set up. YavaPaiHealth.com for more information. This is Countywide. Back in just a couple minutes.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. You don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to Countywide. Great to have you in studio. We've got a couple minutes left of the program. We're going to change course just a little bit. Again, the phone number for appointments is 639-8132 for flu shots, YavaPaiHealth.com for more information. Whooping cough. Cherry, you said you wanted to definitely talk at least a couple minutes here about whooping cough, and we'll get you back next month to talk more about it.
Yes, please.
We've got to take this one seriously, too.
Yes, we do. It's a highly contagious respiratory disease caused by the bacterium Bordetella pertussis. And it's very, very fatal and can be very dangerous for infants and pregnant women.
We've been seeing kind of a problem with it lately. It's popped up a lot.
It has been. And it's something we are keeping an eye on. And we definitely want to bring to the attention of the public to protect our infants and our children.
And there is a shot for that as well.
There is. There's two. There's the DTaP, which is given to children up through age 5, and then the Tdap that's given ages 7 and up.
I want to say we started seeing it really escalate in California. Is that right? And then it kind of jumped over into Arizona?
It's always kind of circulating in low levels.
Okay.
And so we quite often see it after it's been diagnosed.
Okay.
But it's during that 2-week period that it's highly contagious, that people don't know they have it, that it's being spread.
Like crazy.
Yes.
You said it's very contagious and it spreads quick.
Yes.
What am I looking for if I've got whooping cough?
A cough that lasts longer than 2 weeks. In adults, you're going to have it's called kind of the 100-day cough. It'll last for weeks to months. And in infants, of course, it's the most severe. They have the most difficulty catching their breath and the most complications from that.
Okay. All right. So take it seriously. And again, they can call 639-8132, find out more about that, YavaPaiHealth.com.
If they have any questions about the whooping cough or pertussis, they can call 771-3134. 771-3134.
Okay.
And that'll take you directly to the disease prevention.
Okay. 771-3134. Sherry, good to see you again.
You too, Paul.
So,
Thank
like
you.
I said, we'll have you come back maybe next month and talk a little bit more about the whooping cough specifically,
please.
because you said we really need to spend some time on that. Sally, nice to meet you.
You too.
Thanks for coming in. Just a chatterbox you are, I tell you. Can't keep you down. All right, that's today's Countywide. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll talk to you again next time.